James, how you doing? I got your writing up here. Good job. This is telling me that you're learning and adjusting, and that's all in the name of learning. That's great stuff. Thank you for including this writing. I've got both your magazine ad and your banner ad up. Thank you very much for including that magazine ad. We can really get a better look at the adaptation by including the magazine ad. That's why I had requested that in the announcements. You'd be surprised. A lot of students missed that request. Okay, so a couple of things we can do here. I think I love this. This masked image is just a home run. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Okay, I see a couple of things that you've made adjustments to the logo. Okay, this has some kind of a blurred effect on it, and this has a stroke around the resort. You don't want to do that. You don't want to. Don't touch the logo. And typically, as a designer, if you get a logo in a style guide, don't touch it. Don't make any changes to it whatsoever. What you get is what you get. You can place it, resize it, and that's it. Um, okay, so the web banner, I think both are really busy. I think we could really add some simplicity here to an effective degree. Let me describe what I mean. Okay, let's start with the magazine ad. Now, what I would recommend with the magazine ad and the banner is to remove this kind of waved frame around here. I don't think we need that. I think we'll let the image do the talking. Right now, I think that's just adding a little bit of visual clutter. And I don't mean to use that term as a derogatory statement. It's actually a industry specific term that means there's too many visual elements converging in a composition. Creates a busyness that creates a little bit of uneasy tension. We can rectify that very easily. First thing I recommend is do not add any kind of strokes that's an outline, to your type at all. You don't want to do that. It changes the shape of the letters, and it just makes it really difficult to read. We see stroke on the type here, headline, in the body copy, in the address, in this headline, subhead, and the call to action. So you don't want to include a stroke on the type. I recommend removing those. Next thing I'd say is the banner ad the magazine ad is really text heavy. What I would recommend is that we take these 3 paragraphs and condense them into 1 paragraph. Then what we'll do is we'll take the logo. What I'd like to see is we're going to take the logo and we're going to move it down to the bottom of the page. We'll take this masked image, move it over to the right-hand side, place the logo on the left-hand side, okay? Get your contact information underneath. Then that leaves this whole area. So what you'll do is you'll take the ultimate expression of luxury, left align that, and then place the paragraph, the condensed paragraph in white type. You can place this in purple, place this in white. I think it'll actually increase the harmony quite a bit. Then we can start doing the same thing with the banner ad. So the banner ad, what I would recommend is this exact same configuration. So we'll have to reduce the size of the type. First, remove the frames from the top and the bottom. And then the ultimate expression of luxury and well-being, I would left align that and reduce the type size. So that'll take up this area right here, right? Then right underneath it, you're going to add your animated. Again, I would recommend that you condense that. There's just too much information there. It's a banner ad. I mean, I can't even read that whole thing in the time that the animation fades out. So I would definitely condense that information into 1 sentence of just 1 line of promotional type, faded in, faded out. Okay, so then what we'll have is let me see here. So we have headline sub. Yeah, let me see. So that'll all be left aligned, right? So you have a headline, then your body copy one right here. Then you can do 1 of 2 things. You can either take the logo, reduce the size, place a logo right there, and keep that masked image over. Keep that masked image over there. Or I think what would even be better is to reduce the size of this, place it over here of the masked image, and then place the logo right here. Then the only other thing you want to include is the location, not the contact information, not the entire address or anything like that. Just say located in beautiful St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, or something like that. Okay, and I think that's really going to clean things up. Right now, I think you have a tendency to really want to add a lot of visual stimulus, and we want to understand that design is about simplicity. If you take a look at some of those examples in the announcement here, you'll see each one is successful to a very high degree, and to a very high degree, that success is based on the simplicity of the ad. So really think about simplicity as a designer, and how simplicity works, and how over cluttered compositions kind of add an uncomfortable visual stress. Now, again, I don't mean to sound discouraging. I'm trying to be as encouraging as possible, but I'm also trying to be as honest as possible. So I would make those recommended changes. It sounds like a lot of work, but it's not. It's not. I mean, the lion's share of the work is done. So we're just going to make some tweaks, and I'll tell you what, if you want to resubmit this and get some final comments, I'd like to see those changes reflected in your final submission. Coming up next week. But if you want me to take a look at that between now and then, I'll be more than glad to. Just go ahead and repost or let me know how you want me to take a look at that. All right, fantastic. If you have any questions at all, now's the time. It's really important to get with me with any questions or if I can provide any clarification. All right, great job. Thanks so much for sharing.